You're watching TAG TV.
Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 9th of April. India puts Pakistani diplomat on wanted list for conspiring to launch 2611 type attacks. Fight against terror cannot fail, says top US commander in Afghanistan. And India's visit successful, historic, says Nepal's Prime Minister Oli. And now for all the details. India's National Investigation Agency or NIA on Monday put a former Pakistani diplomat on its wanted list and released his photo seeking information. During investigation, the NIA had found that the diplomat Amir Zubair Siddique, while working in Sri Lanka from 2009 to 2016, engaged people to indulge in espionage and terror activities in India. The former visa counselor at the Pakistan Embassy in Sri Lanka, Siddique was charged sheeted in February by the NIA along with two others for plotting 2611 type attacks in southern India. Reports suggest the agency will now be sending a request to Interpol seeking red corner notices against the Pakistani officer who was repatriated to Islamabad soon after his cover was blown.
NIA must definitely have some evidence about this gentleman's involvement in terror activities. That's why they've made it public, and they've done it rightly, because I think the world needs to be warned about how Pakistani state is promoting terrorism.
Moving on, scores of Pashtun protesters on Sunday held a massive rally in Pakistan's Peshawar city against the Pakistani state-sponsored terrorism. Pashtuns have long alleged that Pakistani army in association with militant groups are involved in gross human rights violations against the ethnic community.
Thousands of Pashtuns held a rally in Pakistan's Peshawar city on Sunday against the Pakistani state-sponsored terrorism. The rally, organized by the Pashtun Tahafuz movement, amazed protesters who blamed the Pakistani army and intelligence agency are involved in enforced disappearances of innocent Pashtuns. In the 3-hour-long rally, the protesters chanted pro-freedom slogans and demanded the international community to intervene in the war crimes against Pashtuns in the federally administered tribal areas or FATA.
The three demands are still remaining. One is to clear the FATA from landmines. The second one is to arrange a judicial inquiry of extrajudicial killing. The third one is to provide the list of missing persons.
Pashtuns have long blamed that they have been targets of military operations, internal displacement, ethnic stereotyping and abductions by the Pakistani security forces. They accuse that Pakistan army functions along with militant groups in the region and discriminately uses force against innocent people.
In news from Afghanistan, Commander of the US forces in Afghanistan, General John Nicholson, has said the fight against terror is the most important fight in the world and losing it would be unacceptable. Nicholson made the remarks during a ceremony which was held in honor of foreign soldiers who have been wounded in the Afghan war.
General John Nicholson, commander of the US and NATO forces in Afghanistan, has said the fight against terror is the most important fight in the world and losing it would be unacceptable. Nicholson made the remarks at a ceremony in Kabul organized to honor foreign soldiers who have been wounded in the Afghan war. He said the fight against terror is important for Afghanistan and for the future of humanity.
این جنگ در برابر هراس افغانی مهمترین جنگ در جهان است. شکست در این جنگ غیر قابل تصور است. باید پیروز باشیم و موفق شویم. نه تنها برای آینده این کشور، بل برای تمامی بشریت.
In a bid to curb the terror group Taliban's primary means of funding, the US forces in Afghanistan bombed the drug factories of the group in Farah and Nimroz provinces last week. The US forces now aim to continue the counter-revenue campaigns to fight terrorism and bring stability and peace to Afghanistan.
More on news from Afghanistan. A girl in Afghanistan has chosen beekeeping as a profession in a country where few women work outside the home. The 19-year-old high school student has 12 beehives and collects good money by selling honey.
Honey is a traditional cure-all in Afghanistan. Especially for a 19-year-old schoolgirl and beekeeper, Frozan, it's something that has turned her into an entrepreneur in a country where few women work outside the home. The bees collect nectar from the flowers growing near her house in the north of the country, and she collects approximately 35 pounds of it. She has 12 beehives and lately collected around 240 pounds of honey. This brought her an income of $1,450.
من میخوام که داینده زنبورداری زیاد پیشرفت کنه و تجارتم خوب شه. من علاقمندی هستم که اقتصاد بخوانم و یک تجارت پیشه شوم.
از اینکه وقتی که پروژه که در اینجا آمد خود فروزان جان علاقه گرفت و ما هم خوش شدم که بعد اولادی داشته باشم که بتونه در پیشه دست پیدا کنه و در آینده زندگیش به درد بخوره.
According to reports, honey production has been on the rise in Afghanistan, with production reaching 2,000 tons in 2015. Several varieties of honey ranging from acacia, almond flower to basil are available. Most of this honey never leaves Afghanistan due to limited infrastructure for processing and exporting.
Moving on to news from Nepal. Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, after returning from his 3-day visit to India on Sunday, claimed that his maiden visit was realistic and not fabricated. Oli's first visit to India after assuming office this year was aimed at boosting ties and focused on trust building with the Indian leadership.
Nepal's Premier KP Sharma Oli has termed his maiden visit to India as realistic. Premier Oli, who was on a 3-day visit to India after his return on Sunday, claimed that his trip was realistic in reference to the agreements and the engagement. Oli's visit to neighbouring India was focused on trust building with the Indian political leadership. It was his first trip to India after assuming office in February.
अगाडि बढ्यो र उपलब्धिपूर्ण ढङ्गले अगाडि बढ्यो भन्ने कुरा अहिले हामीले अनुभव गर्नु भएको हुनुपर्छ भन्ने ठान्छु।
During delegation-level talks, India agreed to build a strategic railway link between Raxaul in India's Bihar province and Nepal's Kathmandu to enhance people-to-people contact between the two nations. Oli was sworn in as the 41st Prime Minister of Nepal early this year, and since then he was expected to boost his nation's ties with neighbouring India and China.
A group in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province has taken an initiative to help promote menstrual hygiene and raise awareness among women in rural areas. The group is producing low-cost sanitary napkins to help fulfill the purpose after getting inspired from Bollywood film Padman.
A self-help group in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province has been manufacturing low-cost sanitary pads for rural women to promote menstrual hygiene and raise awareness among them. Taking inspiration from Bollywood film Padman, based on a manufacturer of low-cost sanitary pads, the all-women group in Samba district are producing quality pads costing as low as 37 cents.
हमने टीवी में पिक्चर देखी द पैडमैन, उससे भी हमें ये प्रेरणा मिली। फिर हमने सोचा कि क्यों ना ये झुंड हम खुद लगाएं। फिर हम सभी बहनों ने मीटिंग की क्लस्टर में आके जो हमारा फंड था उससे हमने पैसे निकाले और हमने सैनिटरी पैड प्रोडक्शन।
और गांव में जो लड़कियां औरतें हैं वो अफोर्ड भी नहीं कर पाती महंगे पैड्स या महंगी अपने चीज़ें, तो ये यूनिट जो है एक तो लो कॉस्ट उनको पड़ेगा, इसका प्राइस लो है तो अफोर्ड भी कर सकती हैं आराम से, और अपने स्वस्थ जीवन के लिए उनके लिए बहुत अच्छी एक चीज़ है।
Women, especially adolescent girls, face many challenges when they have their periods, like lack of sanitary products and low toilet hygiene. The unit wants to make available low-cost pads to poor women who are not able to afford costly pads and improve personal hygiene.
Beautification of the holiest Sikh shrine, Golden Temple, in India's northern Punjab province is underway days ahead of the annual harvest festival, Vaisakhi. The entrance of the shrine is also being gold-plated to attract more visitors.
The entrance of the holiest shrine of Sikhism, the Golden Temple in India's northern Amritsar city, is getting gold-plated. The beautification work is being done ahead of Vaisakhi, or the annual harvest festival celebrated by the community. The work is being done to attract more tourists before the harvest festival, as that is the time of year when the shrine gets a rush of visitors.
13 ਅਪ੍ਰੈਲ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੁੰਬਦ ਆ ਮੇਨ ਗੁੰਬਦ ਆ ਇਹ ਤੇ ਸੋਨਾ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਉੱਪਰ ਸੋਨਾ ਲੱਗ ਚੁੱਕਾ ਵਾ ਇਹ ਸੇਵਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਹਿਯੋਗ ਨਾਲ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਕਰਵਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਲੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਗਿਣਤੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੰਗਤ ਸੱਚਖੰਡ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿਮੰਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਲਾਜੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਮੇਜ ਆ ਉਹ ਵਧੀਆ ਮਿਲ ਸਕੇ.
Golden Temple, also known as Sri Harmandir Sahib, is a revered spiritual site of Sikhism and is thronged by close to 100,000 devotees on a daily basis. Vaisakhi is observed as Thanksgiving Day by farmers of Punjab province.
Ace Indian designers set the ball rolling for a fashion week held recently in capital New Delhi. Bollywood actor Richa Chadha walked the ramp in a golden embroidered layered gown for Ace designer Rinku Sopti's collection during the fashion extravaganza. Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. India puts Pakistani diplomat on wanted list for conspiring to launch 2611 type attacks. Fight against terror cannot fail, says top US commander in Afghanistan. And India visits successful, historic, says Nepal's Prime Minister Oli. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.
You're watching TAG TV.